What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome, excuse me, pardon me, to the deal. I was eating a fucking fortune cookie, man. And I think I ate like half of it, the actual fortune. So, you know, there's that. But what's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den is a conversation, a community, an association, if you will. A place where you can speak your mind uncensored, won't be judged for your thoughts, feelings, again, opinions uncensored. And tonight we're going to be talking about the fucking little piece of fortune cookie can't fly out of my mouth. Don't waste your time. I'll tell you, don't waste your time with that bird box. But again, like I say, you know, we're opinions are uncensored. So however you may feel, remember we're all friends in the den, whether you agree or disagree with the topic at hand. But tonight we're going to be talking about promiscuity, the dirty double standard. We're going to talk about, you know, is there a double standard when it comes to men, women, and engaging in promiscuous behavior, the way we judge sexuality in this society, and who has the advantage, who has the disadvantage. So, like I say, we're going to talk about all these things and more. You know how we do in the den. Sometimes we get a little off topic, but we're going to talk about all that good stuff. But before we get into all of that, again, I'm your host, Ed Honcho, if you don't know. We're going to see who's joining us, what friends are in the den this evening. And get into some good old conversation, man. So I see D-Love, what's the motherfucking deal? Mr. Rabbit, yes, you missed out on a gang of pistachios. Baker Man, what's the motherfucking deal? Always good to see you. How MC, what's the motherfucking deal? Bruh Lee, yeah, I'm telling you, Harden said they was back the other game. He said, so, you know, they back in action. He said, hey, we back. You approve of the hat? Well, thank you. Even if you didn't, but thank you. Jaja Era, what's the motherfucking deal? Good to see you. Heidi Kleindienst is in the house. Partially contributed to the idea. You know, it was really mainly all my idea, but a slight amount of input from Kleindienst. Batista, what's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, man, they was I seen Harden going off. They were talking about Harden and Kyrie going back. From the Harden is going off, and Kyrie was getting a little bit of that here and there. So I told you I can pronounce it when I want to. I just don't be. Why would I give you that privilege? That wouldn't be any fair. I got to give you a hard time. So Anthony Bailey, what's the motherfucking deal? But like I said, so tonight we're going to talk about it, man. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate tonight, and you know, I'm gonna speak my piece for a little bit, and then we'll open up the den line, and you guys can call in and then, you know, speak on how you feel about the topic. But first, I gotta in a conversation with a little bit of black in my eye. Yeah, it is, but I'm doing it just because. So honestly, let's talk about it, men and women. When it comes to sexuality, men are praised by other men mainly. You know, women, some women like it. You know, it depends. But nobody wants a person that nobody else wants. You know, it's weird how that works. But men are praised for being sexual conquerors, for stacking up a body count, for slaying as many dragons, if you will, as you can. You know, you're praised. You hit that, you got that, you smash that, you know, being wanted by women, being craved by the opposite sex. Those are all brownie points for men. For women, is it seen the same way? For women, you know, you get labeled by society as a harlot, a whore, a hooker, a slut, a lady of the night. I'm sure there's some other things. We're not gonna go too far into it, but Pim's Don't Cry Cushington. There goes the Cushington. So my thing is, but it's not necessarily about cheating. Just promiscuity. It doesn't have to do necessarily with cheating. You could be a single individual, and if you fucking a lot, you know, one way or the other. Men, you know, you hitting these hoes. I'm hitting the club every night. I'm smashing a new bitch. You get praise for that. But if it's a woman, she hits the club every night. She fucking a new nigga. She gets shamed for that. Is this right? Is this fair in society? And think about it. When it comes down to long-term partners, when it comes down to long-term partners, it looks like, or, you know, with women, the man's body count is never an issue. You see man again, we talked about that dude who had the 20 baby mamas and these bitches still getting pregnant by him. But with men, the more children that she has or whatever, or the more partners that he's aware to have, it's almost less likely to want to get involved, you know? So is it fair? I mean, like I say, you know, the perception. I mean, and me personally, I mean, I don't give a fuck about a body count. You know, if I fuck with a bitch, I fuck with a bitch. It is what it is. Because one, I know ain't no nigga doing what I'm doing. And I think a lot of that can be, is it more insecurity? Do you think that is it more insecurity on the man? If a woman has had a lot of body counts, or is it the woman, does she not care as much because of the price that they put on the pussy, and they feel like, you know, how they feel about the vagina, in the words of Amy Schumer. But I mean, is it man, I wonder what you think. What's up, Shaolin? Good to see you, man. Always good to see you. And so my thing is, you say the man's number doesn't bother you, don't know why. And that's the thing. I mean, or is it, you know, what I looked at, the way I think about it, and this is my personal thoughts on it. And sometimes I look at it like, maybe that's not the best analogy, but maybe because of the fact that a woman gets penetrated, okay? And so you're thinking about internally, you know, someone has been inside or whatever it is. Maybe because men are so external and women are more internal. And that's why they say women are more emotional, because they first learn to think internally, because that's where not necessarily where the stimulation comes from, but that's how they have to discover themselves. Men, you look down, you see your shit, it's all out there. So that's why men are more external. We say, dick don't get wear and tear like pussy do. Female body count don't matter unless you're in a small city. Yeah, that's the one thing. I think that's more of an issue now. I think it doesn't matter as much unless it's like, okay, well, she done been with all my motherfucking partners and all these other motherfuckers. I think then that can have more of an effect than, you know, the other way around, you know. They say if she been with 4 or 5, then you got to multiply. Yeah, and that's the thing though. But you know, because women lie. Women lie like a motherfucker about their body count, and I automatically up the number. You know, look, you done had some drunken nights. You done forgot you done did some shit. You done had some motherfuckers. See, women, they go out there. See, men and women are different in this aspect. Women will find reasons not to count a nigga. Well, I didn't have an orgasm with him, so it didn't really count. Or he was a minute man, so that didn't really count. It was just a blowjob, or it was just a hand job. They didn't really count. So, you know, you throw those off. The women will throw those sexual encounters off to the side. But for men, look, we trying to add up everything what she is. You know, I mean, he was just a little hand job, but you know, she did, you know, little flick with the tit or something. You know, niggas will find a reason to motherfucking me do it. And that is the thing. Yeah, we did that one day. We did have that conversation. The hall pass, and you know, certain ones that you're free to cheat on with no repercussions. But I mean, I think it just depends on the bitches that you fucking with. Because who was that one chick? I don't know who she was, but I remember seeing that video go viral. She was on the same sex count That's a whole weird question. For women, I don't know if that's that. How does that work? For dudes, that's a no go. But for women, does that count? That's a good question. I don't know. And unless they hitting you with the strap, because they be, it depends on, are they feminine women? Or if they're feminine women, I won't count it against the body count. But if you're talking about some studs who are trying to act and look like some little niggas, then I'm counting that against your body count, goddamn. But yeah, but the chick who said, my wholeness got deleted, like that's not a thing. But I think that, women look at that like as that being a possibility. Like, there's nothing wrong. If you had wholeness, embrace your whole ways. Hopefully you learn some things, and the man that you fucking with will eventually fuck with you, that you can utilize those skills. And don't be a hoe while you with somebody. Don't continue in your whole ways. Let's see. You say it was my man. Look, hey, my body count ain't too bad. It's up there, but it ain't too bad. It ain't too bad. But we say, when does the body count thing go too far? And I think ultimately that's what it is. And I'm glad you brought that point up. Shout out to Cushington. And I think that's what men think about, because I know some of the things that I have done to women along the years, and I am disgusting. I don't regret it for one moment, but I am disgusting. And you don't want to imagine the chick that you are with, or that you are, settling down with, going through those things. But here's the thing. If you got with a chick and she done something to you that's just made you like, wow, be it your old lady or not, you got to thank the nigga that taught her that shit. Be happy with it, nigga. Whoever thought, like, hey, wherever you at in the universe, I thank you. That's why I barely even shake hands, Heidi. That's what I'm saying. Look, that y'all, whatever you saying, that Argentinian culture, kissing on the side of faces, groceries getting passed, face to face. You know what I'm saying? They smudging groceries all over each other. Disgusting. Whores make the world a better. And I agree. And that's why I say, man, and y'all think I'd be joking. I'd be dead serious, man. I love ladies. I like hoes. I hate bitches. And the difference, you're like, well, what is the difference? A lady is a woman who carries herself a particular way at all times. Now, she may turn it up in the bedroom, but she's not going to put herself out there like that in public. And she's going to have a certain standard in which she carries herself, how she, keeps her image to the public eye. And she could be wilding out in the bedroom. A hoe is a chick who is, she is what she is. You know what I'm saying? In the bedroom, in the fucking public, she's a freak. She about whatever, whenever, however, whatever, wherever. Nothing wrong with that. That's cool if you're honest about who you are. A bitch, noses. Like all of a sudden, I don't know if I was sweeping up in here before the den got started. I don't know if I kicked up some dust or something. Not that kind of dust. But a bitch is a woman who tries to carry herself like a lady. Usually is really a hoe, but gets mad when you find out about it, or gets mad that people know, and then tries not to play that role. Like, wants to be a hoe, fakes like a lady, but then she's just really angry and gets mad. And she's confused as to what she is. Like, tries to play the lady role, is more of a hoe generally, but then gets mad about it when she kind of gets exposed, or not even about exposed, because that exposing hoe shit is weak. But when she's morally confused as to who or what she is. And she's just not somebody you want to be around. I agree, a bitch is a bitch. Man, look, that consent shit is crazy, because nowadays, and again, like now, but I think the thing, like I say, a lot of people y'all have mentioned is, though, the standard has changed. It used to be, nah, we ain't doing that. Bitches ain't putting themselves out there like that. Only certain bitches was, like real hoes was. But now the culture has changed. Like I was looking at some little business thing. It was a lady on Instagram had, and I'm just looking at how some of these women are dressed. And it's supposed to be a business affair. Like I can't tell if this is something is this a business affair or is this a club night out? Like I think the line has gotten blurred for some. Like they can't tell the difference between class and trash. And again, and I'm not saying all hoes are trash, but I'm just saying that certain things you wear to certain events. And so like now I think society has blurred the lines quite a bit. You know what I mean? And so what used to be considered, kind of outrageous nowadays is considered really tame. Now with the women on this whole sexual liberation thing that they're on, it's a different mentality. And so what I think you got to deal with, what I think you got to look at is, give me a second. Jay does what's the motherfucking deal? But what I think you got to look at again is just, if you're talking relationship, if you're talking a situation like that, then that's up to you. You got to figure out what you do want to know, what you don't want to know. If you just want to appreciate that person for who they are at that time. If it's just on some fucking shit, it really doesn't matter. If we just strangers passed in the night, look, as long as you ain't burnt up, we are all good. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking a long-term situation, those are things you got to determine. Like, is this going to affect you? What good is, I mean, if the pussy good, if all these other things aren't fucking affecting you, if you're not worried about any of the other things, I mean, you ain't dealing with baby daddies, you ain't dealing with local Eskimo brothers, if you will. I find that's like the funniest term to me. What is the term for women? Because there's two dudes who fuck the same chick. They call them Eskimo brothers. What is it that you call women? What is the term for women? You're talking about 50, man, y'all will be surprised. Like, y'all will be surprised. Y'all think 50 is a lot for some of these broads, man. Look, hey, all I'm saying is some of y'all really don't want to know. And again, if y'all you're talking about females that went to college and all that other shit, y'all don't really want to know. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, because what you got to think about, especially like, here's the deal: if a chick was sheltered, and you like, say you meet a chick, I'm gonna give y'all some game. If you meet a chick and you can tell she was sheltered when she was young, and she went off to college, the body count is most likely higher than what she's telling, and you don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all, man. Like I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. But it is what it is. But again, like I say, compared to some of my partners and shit, like I said, my body count is it's probably up there for your average dude. But like I said, I got some partners that's them niggas on they chasing Wilt's records and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And so if she smoke bud, she been ran through. Yeah, she got it. If she always getting a hookup from the weed man, well, that's all the info you need, man. Yeah, I'm just keeping mine. I'm trying to keep it kosher, but like I say, it's there. It's like I say, it ain't nothing outlandish, but I don't know. It might be to some people, so I'm gonna keep it kosher. But again, like I say, don't be surprised, man, because it's some of those out there. You say average for men, and for women, it's according to some polls. Well, I'm above average then. Man, what? Yeah, you ain't lying, but boy, you get a chick that smoke, you get a good lit. Oh, you gon' experience some shit. If she's ever taken ecstasy or the Molly or whatever y'all call it nowadays, go ahead and chalk up a couple of bodies on that. Just chalk up a couple of, just because, again, you will be surprised. And again, some of these women look like you would never know. And I ain't mad at them. It ain't really nobody's business. If it's happened before you, is it really your business? You know what I'm saying? You're the military. I heard about some of the military stories, babe. We need houses. But what I'm saying is, is that does it matter if and ultimately this is what I want to get to. If you meet somebody and say you were with them, you enjoyed every single thing about them, pussy was good, or if you're a female, the dick was good, or whatever the fuck it is, and they made you happy as you ever been in your life, and then you find out this motherfucker had 500 bodies, used to be a prostitute or something like that. You know, just never told you. You just happened to find out somehow later. Does that change the situation? Never burned you, never got you infected, he never got no kind of anything about it. Does that change the situation? You know? Freshman year. So shit, let's look, we're talking about junior high, goddamn. But what I'm saying here is you gotta see what else can tell you first. We say it changes now because you realize you've been ran through. But what I'm saying is though, so does that change? That changes everything, every situation that you've been in. Because if she tells you first, it changes how you perceive her automatically. But if you were happy, everything was great, everything was lovely. I mean, the perfect situation. Did some strange stuff to you. You know what I'm saying? Made you have experience you ain't never had before. You wonder where she learned it from. She's experienced. Does that change the way you think about it? Hey, man, it'd be like that. As I said, look, you don't want no popular hoes from home. Oh, you talking about, man, I know her from, man, never mind. Look, hey, said, girl, I can't even fuck with you no more. No, but like I say, me, because I think it comes down to me being comfortable in who I am. So I ain't really tripping on no shit like that. But I don't think people look at sex, like you're kind of saying, I don't think people look at sex the same. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if she did look on you at your wedding night, if she asked you to bust in the cheeks, then yeah, you might be a different situation there. You know what I'm saying? And no one hits a home run on their first at bat. This is true. Unless you're Mighty Casey. But again, like I say, man, again, and I think a lot of men's perceptions are changing because I think of the day and age that we live in, especially you got to understand this motherfucker got Instagram and she got social media, especially now because women are so accessible. I think that it's a whole lot of shit. It's a whole lot of shit going on. And I think you have to be willing to say, look, if it ain't your high school sweetheart, and even then, you probably fuck out of luck because the motherfucking kids, they getting younger and younger with this shit nowadays. You know, like you probably gonna be out of there. Your chances of scoring a virgin, especially these days, are slim. You know, me, let's just say I got a card collection. Of original mint condition cards. Some of y'all may know what I mean. Some of y'all may not. But my thing is this, you know, look, some of y'all playing Red Dead, collecting the cigarette cards. Well, I collected a different kind of cards. But, you know, my thing is this, though. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with y'all about some shit. And this may be why I think differently about it. I don't, again, because I was young, maybe because I was young. Shit, I tell y'all shit. I used to be old Jackhammer Johnson till I got my mind right, till I started figuring the shit out when I was young. But virgins are the worst because you gotta teach them. You gotta deal with other little issues and all that timid shit. Like, I don't really want to do all that. I want to just kind of have it figured out already. You know what I'm saying? And not have to go through the whole teaching process now. You can mold them, you know, if it's a longer term situation. But, you know, the thing is, you gotta you gotta have patience. And especially this day and age, I ain't got no goddamn patience. You know what I mean? I ain't got no patience these days. You know, when I was younger, it was a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess just because I was just trying to stake claim to some shit or something. I don't even fucking know. But nowadays, you definitely don't want to deal with it. I don't even like young hoes, honestly, because the mentality is all fucked up. But I agree with Charlie. Look, I need a freak with long hair. Nah, they ain't got to be as long as I can get a grip on it. We Gucci. Yeah, you know, this how you do it. But again, man, like I say, so I think that promiscuity, you know, there's a certain type of person, because you got these different groups of on the internet and people of these certain mentalities and things. And that's why I say, like, you know, the red pill thing. Like, I understand where a lot of them guys are coming from, the red pill and the MGTOW and all that shit. But my thing is, what kind of nigga listening to another nigga tell him what kind of bitch he's supposed to be fucking with? That's where I start losing. Like, whatever kind of hoes you like. You ain't got to listen to, if the bitch don't look like this and like this, she's not a top notch one. I'm like, man, fuck all that. I like the type of hoes I like. Ain't no nigga gonna tell me what type of hoe I like. I like a thick bitch. They be liking them little funny boy body built bitches. And I ain't with that shit. Like, look, I need to be able to grip, don't trip. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, you know, I understand the mentality, but that's why I say I can't really sign on with some of those beliefs, because it's just like, I don't hate women. I may talk a lot of shit, and, you know, I think feminism is ruining a lot of shit because it's confusing a lot of women as to, they think they're doing something for equality, but there's a lot of underlying bullshit that they buying into because they just listen to other women's that don't know what the fuck they talking about, you know? So again, you know, it is what it is. To each his own. Everybody prefers whatever they prefer. Yeah, I mean, that's why I say you got to be able to access. You get to get your hands around the waist. How you look. But that's another conversation. That has nothing necessarily to do with promiscuity. It's just preferences, both with P's, but and not peeing in the face, Heidi. Yeah, it needs to look. I got big hands, and this is like my thing. And what I say is, I have big hands. I need assets that can occupy those hands. I'm a very handsy motherfucker. So here's the deal. We're gonna open up the Denline here in a few minutes, about 5 minutes. Like I say, don't let the internet fool you. That's all I gotta say about that. Look, but my thing about that is, though, again, like I say, so I think that beliefs have changed. Now, ideally, everybody wants that, you know, that one you don't do. But again, I think when you get realistic about it, when you get real, you know, in the day and age we live in, you're not finna find all these features, all these qualities. Because trust me, especially if she looking right, if you have a preference for a type of woman, trust me, there's other niggas out there that got that same preference, and they gonna be shooting at the same type of chicks you gonna be shooting at. And eventually, you shoot so many shots, eventually something's gonna penetrate. You know what I'm saying? And so, oh, that's awful. That's awful. Shame on them. Shame. You want the blue chick from X-Men so she can change in all the other hoes and shit. She be a different bitch every night. But again, so, you know, but with promiscuity and you know, people having different views on sex and sexual partners and things like that. Again, and like I say, you know, it depends on dating. It depends on long term. It depends on what you're really trying to get into. There are differences, and people are going to have different opinions. And I think some of the younger dudes probably will have a certain vision because they imagine things being a certain way. I think some of us older cats have an understanding. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you get an understanding, or an overstanding, as some folks like to say, no worries, she's not. You gotta you look at things a little bit differently. Once you get some experience, you look at things a little bit differently. And so, you know, you adjust the game plan, and, you know, you make sense, and you figure it out and you make it work. So I think that ultimately, and this is my advice to you youngsters, is while you're young, have your fun, do your thing. But especially if you're a man, don't think especially like I say, with women getting more rights, privileges, and accessibility, equality, and all these other things, and sexual liberation. Don't think they not doing it. But what you young niggas got to understand though now, and this is what bothers me, because I was, like I said, I was reading some shit on Twitter, and it was a bunch of whores. No, but it was just some hoes talking about some shit on Twitter. And they was just basically talking about how young they were fucking with older niggas. And the thing about that to me is just like, older niggas fuck with these, y'all niggas be tripping. I used to have a homeboy, used to say, man, hey, look, dog, if it's grass on the field, play ball. I was like, nah, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Foul ball. You know what I'm saying? It's 3 strikes, you out, my nigga. But, you know what I mean? My thing is ultimately, though, have you some fun. Enjoy yourself. And it's probably going to be changing pretty soon. The old females going to start turning into cougars and shit. Be on the prowl. But if you're young, have your fun while you're young. Oh, man, don't get started on the Yahoo action. But my thing is, it is what it is. Don't be intimidated. Don't let society tell you it's supposed to be like this, this, and this. And 9 times out of 10, if you are a teenager right now or a young adult, it's action. Because especially with everything in society encourages us to do nothing but basically fuck. And so you got to look at it how it is, man. And you take it for what it is. So, don't be upset about it. Don't trip on none of it. Enjoy your life. And have fun with that. So here's the dealie. Let me open up the Denline here in a second. So I'm calling in. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know how y'all feeling. Express your views, your opinions on promiscuity. Your opinions, your thoughts, and your feelings on tonight's topic, or if there's something else going on that y'all want to discuss, feel free to call them in. So there's that. Oh, well, yeah, you don't want to say that. Yeah, no, you don't want to say that. That's a little young in the game. Quite young in the game. But again, congratulations, we're still here, even after the comments from last night, the ending of last night's stream. We made it. We're still alive. So they didn't come get me. So there's that. Booty all layaway. Ain't that a bitch? Gotta hit them squats. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be hanging upside down in the rack. You gotta go the other way. Taz tattoo age. Well, where is Taz? Like, when the last time you seen the Tasmanian devil? All right, we got a call coming in. Let's see what we got calling in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
What's up, Honcho? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, this is D-Love, okay?
Ready, D-Love. What you want to drop in the den, D-Love?
Yeah, what I want to drop is, I guess I have a different opinion than the majority of everybody else. Yeah, I'm not really with the promiscuity. I don't know how to pronounce it. Forgive me. I'm not with the double standard because I look at men just like I look at women. When a woman just give herself to any guy. You know what I'm saying? I believe she needs to have more respect for herself, but the same thing, because I'm in the military and I met a dude in Airborne who told me about all the females that he was with, and then he ended up getting a disease where he had to get something stuck up his penis, and very painful. So he gave it to every female. Didn't even matter how she looked. Didn't even matter if she was clean or not. So that's why I say he needs to have more respect for herself. The same way I look at a woman. So despite him being in the middle, despite all that, but to me, I'm gonna save myself till I'm married or not. Maybe it's because I have a Christian background, but I just think that doing so, it'll give me time, and it'll give us time to develop a friendship. Instead of just, because I look at sex as something to be sacred, I guess.
Okay.
That's just me. That's what I want to spill. I mean, you can go ahead and talk about that.
Okay.
Laugh at it, do what y'all want. But I appreciate it.
All right, appreciate the call, D-Love. Now, that's something you don't hear very often. So shout out to D-Love, man. And I can respect that. But I'm going to be honest with you, though. You know, the longer you wait, and if you are saving yourself for marriage, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be highly unlikely. And I don't want to ruin your dream. I'm not trying to kill your dreams or anything, but let's be realistic. It's going to be highly unlikely that, or less of a percentage chance that you're going to find a mate who is equally as pure, if you will. Look, so maybe you may have to go outside the culture. You may have to go outside the country or something. But I think when it comes to American women in the way that, you know, society raises nowadays, it's crazy. Man, I saw something. I was watching. The fuck? I was cleaning up earlier, and I had, like, you know, YouTube when the videos keep playing, and it was a PewDiePie video. PewDiePie, and I guess he does this thing where he watches like Dr. Phil, and he talks about he just talks about the motherfuckers on the show. And this bitch was a dominatrix, and so she came home basically and told her 11-year-old daughter that's what she does, or she might have been 11 or 9 or whatever at the time. And then after that, the daughter just basically started wilding out. This bitch smoked weed with the daughter. She was smoking weed at the Dr. Phil show, and the daughter was the goof troop. She's like 14 now and just out of there and stupid, and talking about the mama, talking about, yeah, she's sexually active and all this other stuff. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like now, even at a young age, these women, these liberal women are condoning this behavior because they did it at a young age. So they don't see nothing wrong with it. And like I said, I was talking to one of the beauticians or hairdo or whatever you want to call them. She was just telling me some things, and it's like, and I'm just like, man, it's, you know, just stories you hear. And it's just like, man, these women, like, it's okay to them. And so I think the longer, and I'm not saying the longer that you wait, that, you know, I hope you find what you seek ultimately, you know, not to, like, say, discourage you or anything, but I think that's tough, man. I think that's pretty tough. So, PewDiePie for T-Series. And like I said, I actually started watching the PewDiePie videos. They're kind of interesting. The dude's kind of funny. But again, like I say, you know, it's a change in culture. It's not like it used to be back then. It used to be that, you know, it was honor and respect. It used to be you get pregnant, they would ship your ass off to motherfuckers ain't see you, leave the baby with grandma, you come back. Oh, I just moved away for a little bit. Motherfuckers ain't even know you have a kid and shit. But now they don't care. It's cool now. You know, it's cool to be a grandma at 38 and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is, the thing is now is just that it's the culture has changed. And so, like I say, I hope that you find someone who is equally compatible. And ultimately, yeah, when you just fucking on anything, you gonna fall off and fall into an ant pile, and your ass gonna get bit, burnt, hurt, and it's gonna be very unfortunate. So that is awful. That is very awful. Yeah. So it's craziness, man. Yeah, see, 14 or something. So that's awful. You know, and so, like, again, like I said, I hope you find what you want. But I mean, it's just gonna take some searching, and it's gonna take some, and hopefully. But the thing about it, and I agree with you though, something you said about, you know, sex. Honestly, it should be secondary. I mean, if you out there, you just looking to fuck around, and that's what you're not looking for nothing serious. You know, I understand it. You know, I'll talk about my situation. Like, shit, I was coming off of a lengthy hiatus. You know what I mean? And so with me and the lady Honcho, it wasn't no fucking off the bat or nothing like that. And it wasn't to say that I didn't have the opportunity or prior opportunities before. And that's the thing, when you're not fucking, that's when hoes really be throwing the shit at you. But, you know, it was conversation. We got to kind of understand one another and just really, you know, kind of see what the angles which each one was coming from and figuring some shit out. And then, you know, eventually it was what it was. But I think it did build a better foundation, not to come out the gate fuck, because sometimes you not me, but you guys will fall in love with the pussy and then, be blinded. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got call in to the den this evening? Yo, it's the Cushington. Cushington, what you want to drop in the den tonight, man?
It's your boy Kush, nigga. What's going down? PUBG, nigga, let's play.
Man, every time I talk about some damn PUBG, you all pull up to the pub, man.
Yeah, you take too long, nigga. You sleepy now.
Man, nigga, you tapped out the other day. You just jumped in the party by 5 minutes. I was finna boot up. You was tapped out before I even booted the thing up.
Nah, nigga, you told me you was gonna play a game and that shit like fucked up or something.
I said I was finna restart it. Did I restart it? I came back and I sent you the party invite. I didn't hear nothing back from you.
Oh yeah, I probably went to sleep there.
Yes,
yeah,
nigga. This nigga. But yeah, but what's the deal? What are your thoughts on promiscuity, and the modern day man and woman?
The word we should talking about, the man. Look, when I was young and stupid, I used to say, man, fuck that female body count. But now it's like, shit, fuck it. I mean, as long as I don't know the niggas, I'm cool. But I can't know the nigga. Because I know a nigga now. I got a partner now. His girl was a floor growing up. I mean, A1. Like, I done been there on some shit she done did. Now, this nigga went there damn near married to the chick. And she talking about she'll do half of the shit with this nigga. I'm like, ain't no fucking way on God's great earth am I gonna be with you. You telling me, man, you was sucking nigga dick from the back when I knew your ass. Now you talking about you don't suck dick period no more? Man, hell. You got me all fucked up. That's the part where it gets understanding. If you was a hoe back then, nigga, we get married, you damn sure about to be my hoe. You better lick my asshole and everything else included. Nigga, we is married, nigga. You was about to lick all in between my butt. Shit.
Wow.
Like I said it.
All right. That definitely took a turn. That definitely took a turn I wasn't expecting.
Just think about it, though. If you ain't with, come on, now you don't know, Honcho. We done had some hoes did some shit, that did some shit, that did some shit.
Oh, yes, these are facts.
And we were just the fuck buddies. So you telling me if we get married now, like Heidi, for instance, Heidi better let me fart in her face if we got married. Because that's what I want to do. Fart all in Heidi's face. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to end it on that note right there. And also I want to let everybody know that dude Brandon 335 like a little boy named Josh.
All right, Cushington, appreciate the call, man. That nigga Cushington is wild, man. But I agree with him, though. That's the thing, man. That's the thing, though. Here's the deal. If I've known you've done some wild stuff, I expect all the wild stuff. And then some. I need to push the boundaries just a little bit more just so I can put my stamp on it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's just how it goes. That's just the rules. That's the standards. That's the method of operation. But yeah, man, that's the thing though. But that whole, yeah, he made a good point. You know, talking about, I've told y'all about the the cousin I got that looked like the nigga from Get Out, and this nigga basically wifed a chick who had a kid with her. Basically was part of the gang. Tried to charge his brother up because his brother smashed the chick before he ever got with her. Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, that's my thing. Like, you can't be mad about some shit knowing the situation you get into and want to be mad at the niggas who did it when you accepted that situation. Like, you either be cool with it and be cool and, you know, carry on and proceed from your point of view, or you have to end that situation. If you know that you mentally can't handle that shit, if you can't deal with that shit, then, you know, fuck that. Like, you can't be sitting there letting your insecurities overwhelm you because you afraid of some old fuckery. T'Challa, what's the mother content? Oh my god, I don't know. That sounds like some. See y'all been using that C word. That's a no word. See you next Tuesday. But I think that is the new female religion. Ain't no rules. Whatever's clever. Yeah, but that's the thing. You can't be wilding out, and then when you get long term and insecure, you don't want to do the wilding out no more. Look, that's what you're supposed to really push the boundaries. That's what we supposed to go take it to the next level. We finna hop in this spaceship and do some real wild shit. But here's my thing. Hey, nerds is the one with the word, man. Nerd is the word. But yeah, look, now it's gonna be the past, your future, it's gonna be your present. My present is your present. But ultimately, like I said, we're talking about the whole thing that Shaq Kush mentioned. He was talking about somebody who basically knows who got involved with someone. Like, I can't be that nigga, man. I can't be that nigga. Like, I can't fuck with somebody like that I knew for a fact was fucking with somebody I know, even if it was in the short term, long term, whatever the fuck it was. Especially, I ain't even forget the too many details, but 335, you just pull it up, man. Look, yeah, you got some things you got to catch up on. You got a shout out from Shaq Kush and some other interesting things that have taken place. But again, I know some niggas, like I say, shit. And that's my thing. Like, I don't understand niggas who be happy to run after leftovers. Like you see a lot of these athletes. You know what I mean? Like these athletes who run after like the Kardashians after another nigga that had him. Harden, his old hoe ass. He be hitting whatever. But you see a lot of these athletes who be running after these hoes that other niggas and had high profile situations and all these other things. Like I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't comprehend that. Why do y'all think that happens? Why do you think niggas do that type of shit? Like what is the purpose of that kind of activity? You know what I mean? Like, why do you think niggas find like it legitimate to do that? Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't really care how cool the situation is. If I know, if I don't know something, that's one thing. But if I know for a fact that you had a thing going on with somebody I know, and especially niggas I know, they probably off the wall if they was halfway off the wall as I was. That's definitely not something you want to get into. You know what I'm saying? They have a secret competition. You say motherfuckers fantasize before they got famous. I mean, I guess that could be a thing. That could definitely be a thing. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the den this evening?
What's up, Honcho? How you doing? This is D-Love again.
D-Love, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop on the den line this evening?
I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna go ahead and speak for one last time. This might be my last. This may be my last call for the night, unless somebody come back on the line and then see some off the wall stuff again, so I have to come back and clean the slate again. But I also wanted to. There was a lot of stuff that I wanted to touch on, but I got off earlier because I didn't want to hold up the sauce line, but it's kind of slow, so I'm gonna just go ahead and spill it.
Yeah, spill your sauce.
Okay. One thing I seem to notice that in today's age, like it's 2018 now, I noticed that maybe like a couple of decades back, like the populace wasn't as sexually active as it is now, and I started to notice that it's like the media, what have you, kind of warped the entire generation into thinking that you had to have sex in order to have fun and shit like that. It's kind of what and I think it's something that you said that also I want to give a shout out to you and everybody else who was supportive of my claim, because I didn't expect that at all. I expected to get ridiculed, but it is what it is. Shout out to you and everybody else who had my back with this.
Okay.
I noticed one thing, that when you first lose your virginity, right, you kind of gain an emotional attachment towards a person. Did that happen with you?
No, not really. I don't.
Not really?
I won't. I don't think so.
I mean, like I said, like most people will kind of gain some kind of just losing it for the first time. That's why. That's why, like, I think it'd be worth it to wait. Like I say, kind of build up the friendship. Um, Also, just like there are plenty of things to do.
Yeah.
Right. Like sex doesn't have to be like top priority or anything like that. I mean, there are plenty of ways. There are plenty of ways to actually go about it, like talking it. I say I'm waiting till marriage because you wait till you marry, right?
Mm-hmm.
You waiting. I'm sorry, hold up. That's what I was saying. Waiting till marriage will give you a sense of like who the person is and stuff, and like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just because it kind of I don't know if it cut out for a second or not. But you're saying you were waiting till marriage, and what happened now with the person? I don't know if it had cut out or not. So my thing, but I understand what he's saying. You know, when you build those things up and you make it something special because again, your first time you only get one shot, and so you want it to be memorable and all that other stuff. I wouldn't say that mine was. I don't think I ain't gonna really go into too much detail with it, but I know that when I was talking about some of the situations, some of those that I was there first, I know that there was an attachment along the way for some time. So I could see where it is, or maybe I'm just I'm just gonna throw it off. Maybe I'm a little bit different. Interesting. The first time that's getting off the jump right there. If I got a finger in the butt on the first go round, well, goddamn, ain't that some shit? Literally, were you prepared for that situation? I mean, were you prepared for the butt finger? But I understand what he's saying. As far as wanting to wait till you're married, wanting to make it a special event. Understanding the person, knowing the ins and outs of that person before physically knowing the ins and outs of that person. My philosophy is a little bit different. Because I think nowadays, because of how society is, you were saying, back then it wasn't as big of a deal. They made it seem like now sex is the only way you have fun, and it is that way. They make everything about sex. That I feel like you got to get that test drive in. You got to get that test drive in because these days, a whole relationship situation will be ruined just because of some sex. You know what I mean? And so if you're not sexually compatible, there could be a problem. You may like a particular thing and she ain't with it, and she's not willing to commit to it, or she may be too prudish at that point. It may take some time to break down those walls or whatever. No pun intended. To break down those walls or whatever it may be. But again, you just have to. I mean, like I say, but if you don't make sex the biggest priority in the situation, it's understandable. But sometimes, I mean, it can be a big thing. Especially like I say in this day and age of the women's sexual liberation. Women want to be pleased too. It's not like back in the day when motherfucker shit, she just had to take what she could get, if she could get it, or wait till her husband go to work and hopefully the milkman come through. But these days, women have demands, they have needs, they have wants, and so you may want to get a little practice in first. I don't know what to tell you. She may be understanding. She may be willing to guide you along the way. But and then about the ridicule, there is no ridicule, man, because to each his own. Like I said, man, I understand people's lives. Like I said, this is what the den is about, for people to have different perspectives, different perceptions. What's the motherfucking deal? We got called into the den this evening.
What up, man? It's your boy Kush one more time.
What's the motherfucking deal, Senior Cushington? What you want to drop in the den?
I want to touch up on what they've been talking about. I'm going to be on a serious note this time, but I'm going to be honest with y'all. Ain't no relationship going to last if the sex ain't there. I don't care. I mean, it ain't got to be forever, but you got to be able to look at your girl and just from first sight, your dick get hard. You shouldn't have to touch her. You shouldn't have to do nothing else. If you ain't got that at a young age starting off, that shit ain't going to last. Because as soon as you got to go around, if you got to still look at porn while you in a relationship, that shit ain't gonna last. She should be your porn. That's all you gotta think about to jack off. I'm gonna tell you, that shit is not going to last long.
I got a question for you though. I got a question for you though. What if you watch porn with your significant other?
Hey, there you go. That's what makes it worthwhile. Y'all gotta have that thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say, unless she's just there for the money. If she's there for the money, y'all might last a long time. But if y'all talking about serious relationship, if the sex ain't there at a young age, that shit gonna last. I'm gonna say, shout out to that nigga. I'm just bringing it up because I thought about it at the moment. What's that big nigga name? Got his kids play football? The Ball dude. LeVar Ball.
Yeah, LeVar Ball.
You know what I'm saying? You see the shit his wife went through. That nigga stood by her side, excuse me. Do all the shit, you know what I'm saying, trying to help her get back on her feet and everything. I can tell you that nigga was beating them walls in and out when they was growing up. That's why they got so many kids now. That's how you know the love was there. That nigga was beating that shit in. Now she gonna do what she gonna do. That nigga still love her. Because, I'm telling you, I don't care how much love it is, the sex gotta be there. You know that nigga was enjoying that shit. For however long it was. Why you think these ugly assholes, let's be honest now. Let's be 100% honest. Out of all these celebrities we see, you see these Instagram model bitches. How many Instagram model bitches got niggas? None. How many celebrity niggas got some ugly ass wives? T.I., for example. T.I. wife ain't cute, but I bet you he beat that shit in every fucking day. How many kids they got?
Too goddamn many.
Exactly.
Motherfuckers got a small football team and shit. Got a fucking 6-man with substitutes.
All the celebrities, you know, with these big ass families, they beating their wives in, and they ain't no Instagram. The Instagram, man, you see what Black China did on camera. Weak.
That shit was terrible. Terrible.
Weak.
Terrible. Knee-licking bitch.
That's why she'll never find love.
Yeah. This is true.
That's why Halle Berry adopted everybody, because she adopted kids because apparently her coochie ain't no good.
Man, I believe it. I have a theory about Halle Berry, man. I believe that. And that's the thing, man. You brought up a very you brought up a good point there. What is it with do you think that is that some bitches think they too goddamn cute to actually be real freaks, that that they're fake freaks just because they look good, but then they think that's good enough to get the man off, that they don't actually work on the other aspects of improving their sexual behaviors? How do you feel about that?
I think they don't know what being a freak is. I think they know how to bounce that ass where camera can't bounce that ass on the dick.
Bet she can't do it on the dick. She popping. Okay.
Apparently it's something, because China showed us she can't. She was a stripper, and she sucks.
Trash. 100% pure garbage. Basura.
I bet you Nicki Minaj couldn't. I know Nicki couldn't fuck. All that silicone in her body, I know that shit ain't moving for nothing.
That bitch can't even twerk. That shit, the ass don't even fucking move. So.
I think Cardi B might have something though. She got that nigga. They got that nigga begging her on camera and shit.
I don't know, player. I don't even know. She might have better record sales than that nigga right now. That might be a business move.
It could be.
A business move and a business baby. Well, I agree, but I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you. There's the ones that have the kids that they, and again, that's what I say, because I think it's compatibility in the bedroom. I think sex has to be a big factor like that, because if it wasn't, they wouldn't have as many children, or, unless you go get, tied up or tubes tied or your vasectomy or whatever else it may be. But yeah, you would definitely have many more offspring in those long-term relationships. So definitely.
Well, that's a bit, man. I ain't gonna call it no more until you ready for some mixer action if you get on mixer tonight.
All right, that's a BET. I'm gonna hit you up when we done with the den.
All right.
Bet.
10-4 right to that.
Already. Appreciate the call, Mr. Cushington. But again, I mean, how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all agree with Shaq Kush with what he said? Is it more sexually compatible people? Is that why they're having more children? Is that why they're engaging in more friskification? What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
It's Edmund.
Edmund, what's the motherfucking deal? Edmund, what would you like to drop in the den tonight?
Want to speak on how the double standard in sexual encounters is kind of unfair in the spectrum of the woman.
Okay. Well, why do you feel it's unfair for the women?
Well, because most of the time they feel like they have, since they're the ones that have the pussy, then that makes them have this so-called power over the man. And I feel like they take that advantage over the men because they feel like we are more thirsty than them. And so that makes them feel like, oh, well, you're not going to do anything because, like Kush was saying with the Cardi B situation, you see Offset, like this dude is like obsessed with this woman that I know for a fact, like, she doesn't really love this guy. She's just using him for whatever, for clout or for a business move, like he was saying. I just feel like most men don't take women serious. They just treat them like, like you were saying, like body counts, and there's no significant affection when it comes to sex anymore. Like it's more like you're doing it to accomplish something numerically instead of having an actual connection with the partner. So I feel like more men are like, oh yeah, I fucked this amount of women over, I actually enjoyed having sex with this chick. So that's kind of my thoughts.
Okay. Well, I can understand that point there. I definitely can, in some aspects of it, I can agree with you with that. Because we live in a day and age of, especially influenced by the rap music. And if y'all wonder why I made that face, man, I just saw the picture Jay Dizzle sent. And that is, whoever did that is foul with a capital F. But I agree. Now it's almost like, I don't want to call it mutual masturbation, but motherfuckers just using each other to get off. Women want to get off because women are just as horny. For those of you who don't know, women get just as horny, if not more so, than men. And when they find a dingling they like, they stay attached to it. And men were using women for the same thing, late night booty calls and all that shit like that. There's no real connection into it. But again, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that if that's the understood premise, from the get-go. I'm not with the sucker shit, basically, a nigga who be telling, oh, bitch, oh, I love you, and caking up and doing all this other shit. If that's not what it's about, don't play with the emotions just to get the pussy. Like that, to me, that's some of the weakest. That's on the verge of simpery right there type shit too, So I definitely understand. I can agree with you on that though, Ed, man. I appreciate the call though. I don't know if you could, you heard it. I don't know if the thing is it tripping or did it already hang up? Let me see. Is the Denline tripping? Hold up, man. Oh, give me 1 second. Let me fix this situation. I think it hung up on him and then he trying to call back. I don't know what's going on with the Denline. Hold on. He's doing some weird shit. Give me a second. Let me reboot the damn line real quick. It's doing some weird shit, like it got stuck or something. But here's the deal, women are, I don't care what you say, Heidi. I'm telling you from personal experience. I'm not getting into your science, your any of that stuff. Women are just as horny, if not hornier. And they get hornier as they get up in age. It only becomes more and more so. And they say after fucking after the great change or whatever it is, that it gets extremely risque. Give me a second here. We should have the line back open. But all right, we should be Gucci now. So if y'all want to call in, you should be able to get back in. So my thing is this. When I see simp and Ken lurking around, calling people simps, but ain't got nothing to contribute to the conversation. So, you know, it is what it is. Hello, what's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Oh, I guess I'll turn it back over.
I don't know what happened with the line.
Okay, get it cut out. I didn't know if you were in the middle of what you were saying. So what were you?
I just had one question.
Okay.
And that's, if you were put in a situation where, let's say you're having a relationship with I had a relationship with a girl, and she was like feeling intimate, but she was feeling like she's one of those people that likes to have those weird sexual encounters. So let's say she invited one of her closest friends over to join us. Like, would you allow that to happen?
It's a dangerous situation, but if she is initiating the situation, you take your opportunity and run with it. Because you got to look at it, but you got to look at it a couple of ways, and this is why I say it's a cautious situation. Every man, wants to jump into threesome and do all that other stuff. But if it's one of her closest friends and she's inviting her into the situation, you got to think, would it bother you if she was engaging with this close friend while you weren't around? Or if it's, ladies' night out and whatever else, if they're having intimate encounters together, or it could be other situations. What if her close personal friend is trying to bring her into another situation? Maybe it's a mutual thing for them. What if, it's not it's not that complicated, but if it's a one-time thing, but if you get engaged in the situation and you pipe a friend down too well, what kind of problems can that cause? There's a lot of things that you definitely have to consider in a situation like that. What damage if you enjoy this relationship, if you like this relationship, you got to think about what can happen. Because here's the deal, because females are scandalous, they can be malicious. Niggas the same way in their own right. But if you pipe her friend down and she ain't getting no good dick on the side or whatever else, if she enjoyed that encounter a little bit too much, that could cause complications in the situation. So I think it's something that you definitely have to consider. What are you willing to risk? What all is at stake? But ultimately, shit, do that shit, nigga. I mean, do your thug thing. If you think you can handle a situation and, it is what it is, and do your thug thing, man. I mean, I can't tell you not to. If you ain't never had the opportunity, enjoy the experience. But again, know the repercussions that come with it. And you got to be prepared for that. Be able to handle that, be able to check her Fred if things get out of line and any other possible situation. So I think there's just other layers of it that you got to think about. So, I can't really give you a something.
So you're saying that there's no boundaries? Like, let's say the other chick starts, putting this fake dildo on her, like she pretends she has a dick, and like, isn't that too far? Would I say like, hey, that's not what I want? Like
that,
how chicks they have different like sexual fantasies and they want to do their own thing, but that may not coincide with what I want.
Well, that comes down to a personal matter. I can't tell you to do what you do. I can't tell you what you do or don't like. I mean, you have to make that decision. I think that that's where things start getting a little sketchy. But I mean, I don't know what to tell you on that one, there, man. Look, that's a whole other conversation. I think you better make sure you stay far away from it. She may try to put it on you or something. You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful. But that's some weird shit right there. So Yeah, I don't really have an answer for you on that one.
All right. Just want to say, Heidi, stop putting out false information because I only jack off once a month, so that's a bet.
All right. I'll let that one slide. I'll let that one slide. Let me see. Let me see. Say free game. Let me see. This is the message they got sent. Say free game. Women who think if men can have sex with a bunch of women, then it's okay for them to do so. And the same thing, vice versa, are wrong. If I got a key and it can open any lock, then I have what is called a master key. If you have a lock and it can be opened by any key, then you have yourself a pretty crappy lock. Being equal isn't identical. Calypso, Oregon. Preach, brother. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And that's kind of the thing that I was kind of alluding to earlier. I didn't have a good analogy, but that's the perfect analogy. And my thing ultimately is because women are always considered, precious and sacred and all these little things. And so, it should be more difficult to obtain a woman's services as opposed to a man. Any man, you just open your legs and they go fuck. That's pretty much a bitch could lay in the middle of the street with her fucking legs open. They're gonna park the car in the middle of the road, hold up traffic, and try to smash the bitch. So I think it's a different set of skills that go with it, and it's different layers to the shit. But very interesting. But that's a great analogy. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
What's happening, Honcho? This is Mr. Rabbit.
Mr. Senior Rabbit. How are you doing this evening, Mr. Rabbit? What would you like to drop in the den this evening?
I want to say that I agree with what Shaq Kush, with the first part of it, not the second part of it.
The farting in Heidi's face?
In a relationship.
That's
what was that?
The first call where he was talking about farting in Heidi's face? That's what you agree with?
If she wants to get pink, I guess, but no, that's not. Nah.
All right, what you got there though?
But no, I just wanted to say if you're in a relationship, motherfucker, let me speak. If you're in a relationship with someone and you love them and you love them dearly, and you kind of want to actually have sex, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you take the precaution. What the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? I'm wondering what you're doing. Yeah, spill your whatever. I don't even got nothing for the day. It used to be the cushion I had smoke. Say what you gonna say, Rabbit.
If you're in a relationship with someone and you love them dearly and you want to have sex, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think so. But what if you're not in a relationship, and what if it's about people who are just kind of hopping around, hoeing around, just doing it for the fun of it? What if it has no relationship implications whatsoever?
Well, that's on you. I mean, do what you got to do. If it's an achievement of yours, then it's an achievement.
Okay. We get Xbox achievements now. All right. Well, so you say there's nothing wrong with people wanting to do whatever it is that they want to do.
Yes and no. When you put it like that.
Well, I mean, it's either yes or no. I mean, which one is it? Is it okay to be promiscuous and fuck with anybody you want to fuck with, or is it an issue if you choose to do so?
Well, it's one of the things where it kind of depends.
Okay. What does it depend on?
I mean, it could have to go. It could either be a good thing or a bad thing, because, I mean, if you're okay, I don't know how to describe it. You got me.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call there, Mr. Rabbit.
All right.
That was a very, very ambiguous conversation. I don't know where we were going with that. I don't know. I have no idea with that one. You say, well, it depends, Kenneth. You said, are you gay if you decline free head? Well, if it's you, Kenneth, yes. Anybody else, no. It's just self-control. Kenneth, call into the line. You usually have something to input. You usually have something for the conversation. So I'm waiting on you to see, other than asking me questions that are none of your business, what do you have to input in the conversation? What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the Denline this evening?
Hello?
Hello.
I can barely hear you.
Let me see what's going on here. Hold on. Let me tweak this. Can you hear me now?
Okay, that's a little better.
All right.
This is Jay Dizzle, of course.
Ready, Jay Dizzle?
I want to speak about.
Okay.
I want to speak about something that's along the lines of what we're talking about. Not exactly what we're talking about, but I'm gonna tell you some shit that I find epically funny.
All right.
I like it when men or women. I've seen some women do it too. That have their significant other. Most of the time, it be boyfriend girlfriend relationship type shit. And they'll wait till like an anniversary or some shit, and they'll just wine them and dine them and be all sweet to them. And then at the end of it, they bring out the motherfucker that they was cheating with and just bust their whole bubble. Man, that shit right there be the funniest shit ever to me, bro. I don't know why. It just be like, because the way they be acting, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll do it in front of the other person's parents and shit. So not only does everybody in the world know you a hoe, your parents got to see you a hoe. Point blank. Like, what you say to your mom and them after that, after he bring out the dudes you been fucking on the side? Like, man, that shit right there is cold-blooded. I enjoyed that. But there was this one story I heard about a long time ago about this guy and this girl that was getting married. So they went on with the wedding and everything, and they signed the marriage certificate before they left, so everybody went to the reception. So right when the reception was winding down and everything, the husband stood up to do a whole nother toast. You know, after the best man and everybody did the shit. And he said, I like to do a toast of my own. He said, I like everybody to reach under their chairs, and there's a manila envelope. And in that envelope, you'll find pictures of my newlywed wife and my best man fucking. And he said, I'm going on a honeymoon. Baby, I'm glad we didn't sign a prenup. I'm out. And left. So not only did he marry the chick, he exposed her in front of all his and her family and friends, had proof of it, then went on the honeymoon, divorced the bitch, and took half her money. That's epic, bro. I don't see how you could do it. You can't play it. You can't be no more player than that, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's gold standard right there. God damn.
Facts. And it was a white dude. Like, where does white dude get game like that, bro?
God damn. But I feel you, man, because I be seeing some of the videos. That shit do be wild. I seen one, a nigga, he set up a whole situation, like basically it had set up like a bunch of gifts and stuff, but it was all her own shit. And basically was telling you, here you go, here your shit, and get the fuck up out of here. I thought that shit was fucking hilarious. That shit, I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah, it's hilarious. The best part be the look on their face when they realize what's actually happening. Because the whole time they all smiling and, oh, honey, that's so sweet and shit. Then all of a sudden he hit her with that shit and they just shocked to their face. Then some of them be trying to deny it and you like, come on, bitch. Like, just go ahead. You busted, hoe. Just go ahead and let it go. And then some of them, they get mad than a motherfucker. Like, what you getting mad for? You been fucking over this dude all this time, and now you mad? Fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Why you had to wait on my birthday? Or why you had to do that in front of my parents, bitch? Because I want everybody to know just how much of a hoe you is. I enjoy shit like that.
Yeah, that's going to be a story they going to tell for a long time. But every time they see your ass, they going to tell that story, too.
Absolutely.
But
funny. Anyway, that's all I had.
I already appreciate the call, Jay Dizzle.
All right, man.
Already. That's funny, man. I remember I seen the one, man. I seen the one where the chick, the dude, old buddy basically ran up in the house or whatever. I don't know if he got home early or some shit. This bitch was basically fucking on a nigga, and she had the whole lingerie and everything on and all that other shit. And then, you know, she tried to play like, oh, I was doing this for you. I was doing it. Like, bitch, you don't ever do no shit like this, you know. And old buddy basically recording the shit. He in the closet, like recording the whole fucking encounter, trying to get the fuck up out that hoe. While the whole shit was going down, like that shit there is wild. That's hilarious. I ain't mad at him. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a difference between getting played and, you know, a cuckold situation. A cuckold situation is when you accepting the shit. Like when you okay with the shit, when you just, oh, my wife's fucking around on me and then treat me like shit. That's a different situation as opposed to the motherfucking me. If you just, you know, you caught the motherfucker and say, okay, well, I'm gonna give me a win out this situation for wasting my motherfucking time. So I don't think that it's a bad thing. James Harden, don't get put on the Ken to get slapped list. All right, calm yourself. So there's that. So again, he said, let the compromise beliefs and values discretion of the dignity. But that's funny. That is funny. So, I mean, I think that's a good note. I mean, watch me if you want to. Don't watch me, watch TV. Watch me on TV. So again, that's fucking funny. But ultimately, Cheaters. That's why Cheaters was such a good show, man. And I remember the best episode of Cheaters was a nigga from Houston, man. And that nigga was an old school player. I remember he was one of the. I don't know if that picture ain't still up because I'm about to delete all the other shit. But I think he was. I used his picture on one of the dens. And that nigga was Bo. That's what his name was. Be like Bo. That nigga Bo was fucking around. The chick ran up on him and charged him up and all that shit. That nigga was like, bitch. Man, you out here trying to embarrass me for that nigga. Bo played like a real old school player, baby. And that motherfucker was not playing no games in the situation. That nigga was not taking no L. That nigga tried to snatch that hoe up. He was finna put some hands on us, some shit. Yeah, I don't think he was finna beat her up, but he was trying to get at that hoe and everything. And he mashed off with the no, I think the other broad left. And he told her, well, I'm gonna call you later. That motherfucker Bo was a real old school player, man. So it is what it is. I think Kenneth, and again, signs of simpery. Because every other time Kenneth be trying to blow the line up, don't be talking about nothing but Patrick Peterson. But again, it is what it is. So here's the deal, though. I appreciate, well, not like Edmund. Here's the dildo. Here's the deal, though. I appreciate y'all coming through. Let me see, what time is it? Oh, okay, we got a call coming in. Let's see what we got calling. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
This is, as you may already know, I don't even think I need to introduce myself anymore.
Yeah, you need to introduce yourself, nigga. You better show some respect when you call you Gary, nigga.
Hello?
Yes, what's up, little nigga? What you want to drop in the den this evening? Nah, this nigga, he ain't talking about shit no way. And I don't need to introduce myself. Nigga, you ain't nobody, nigga. You better show some respect when you call your Gary, nigga. You better put some respect on the motherfucking line. But like I say, here's the deal. Because Kenneth ain't talking about shit. Let me really wrap it up. Let's see. We'll try one more again. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Yeah, this is me.
Who the fuck is me, nigga?
This is Kenneth Ass White.
Nigga, announce yourself, nigga. Talk about some, this is me, nigga. Your mama ain't name you me. I'm the Gary. I know that.
You a cornball. Anyway, man, trying to edit. Yeah. What was I supposed to say? Oh, yeah, about the question. Like, are you gay if you decline free head? Like, in my personal opinion, since I did it just like a few weeks ago, I'm like, because I was like, man, I don't really want to fuck with this bitch. Cause, like, she tried to get, like, she sucked my shit up like 3-4 times. I'm like, man, her shit trash. I'm not going back to this shit no more. And then I'm saying, and it was on a Sunday, and she told me, because it's finals week, and she was like, whoop, you want to do this? I'm like, man, I was like, all right, bet. And she told me Tuesday, and I was like, and then on Monday afternoon, like Monday night, like, oh shit, I can't go, I gotta, and I was like, why? And she was like, why not? And I was like, cause I gotta talk to my coordinator, I gotta talk to my defensive coordinator, cause we got meetings and shit. I'm like, man, all right. She was like, all right, bet. And I just found a way to dip on the shit. I'm like, man, I don't want this trash ass head, man. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not gonna waste my time with this shit. I'd rather be at home getting no head than get some trash ass head. That's like,
Kenneth,
what's up?
You didn't decline the free head. If you done already got head from the bitch, you didn't decline the free head. You just halfway stopped fucking with
but I mean, I kind of declined because she wanted to give me some, but I don't want it no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's potentially declining. So I mean,
whatever floats your boat, whatever make you feel good. Like, nigga, you didn't decline the free. Like, I could understand if it was like a new situation and he was just like, nah, I'm too player for that. But you've already experienced the situation, and then you just like, nah, because you realized that it wasn't worthwhile. Like, it ain't declining the free head. And what was you paying the bitch beforehand? The first 4 times you paid the bitch or something? You talking about declining the free head shit? Like, stop. Pump the brakes. Okay, don't disrespect the stop sign. You know what I'm saying? Look both ways. You know what I'm saying? Make sure if you turn it right, you know, put your signal on. If you turn it left, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you ain't crossing traffic or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Also put your signal on. You just own some other shit. You own some other shit, Kenneth. Like I say, you got some things you got to learn. You're trying. I give you an E for effort, but starting in 2019, I'm gonna start teaching classes. And Kenneth, you know what? You're gonna have to sign up, cause you gonna need some assistance. Cause you gonna end up in a bad way. So here's the deal, man. We gonna wrap it up on that note because I don't even know where to go after that. So it is what it is. What the fuck? Well, I fucks with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for coming through the den. I appreciate y'all fucking with it. If I slide through the mix, I'm gonna probably slide through a little bit later. I'm gonna go. I didn't catch the gym this morning, so I'm gonna go make up for my workout. So it might be closer to. It's about 11:30 now, so it might be closer to 12:30, 1 o'clock ish. If y'all up, then I might fuck with it. If y'all sleep, I probably still might fuck with it. By that time, Shakir's probably gonna be topped out. What's up, man? What's the motherfucking deal? We got called into the deal. We know who it is, but what's the motherfucking deal?
Kenneth, right. So look, one last question before you sign out. Do you and Lady Honcho watch porn together?
So I gotta answer. I'm gonna help you out with a second. Asking that question is gay. Rejecting the free head, that's not gay. If you don't want to fuck with the bitch, you don't want to fuck with the bitch. But inquiring, being that inquisitive of another man's sexual habits, whether they be physical, whether they be visual, or anything of that nature, now that's gay. So there you go. And with that being said, you know what I mean? I appreciate y'all. I just had to look at. That's why I said I wasn't going to answer the call, but I already knew what Kenneth was going to say, so I just had to go ahead and set himself up for the okie doke. And he threw up the alley oop, and I'm gonna bring it home. So, with that being said, man, look, right at the end, yeah, God just couldn't help himself, man. Look, don't do that. That's simpery at its finest. But with that being said, man, I fucks with y'all again. Like I said, it'll probably be close to about, maybe I would say probably about 12:45, 1 o'clock if I do get on the mixer. I know y'all anticipating that Tomb Raider action, and y'all was hating it first, but then y'all was all into the Jaguars and shit. Y'all know y'all was fucking with that shit. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all coming through the den. Remember, Den at 10, Sauce at 7. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Got another interesting topic. Tell your friends about the den. Well, tell your non-simpish friends about the den. We don't need too many more Kenneths in that bitch. But with that being said, I'm out, man. I fucks with y'all. And y'all already know the routine. When the simp is in the situation, y'all ain't got to go home. I'm inviting y'all to the mixer a little bit later. But with that being said, y'all got to get the fuck out, man. Because this nigga here, man. I don't even know. I don't know what to say about this. I got no answers for him. I mean, I really don't know what to say about Kenneth. Kenneth, tell your mama Gary said